Clara Bennett was 18 years old, every day. She stood behind the glove counter in one of the largest department stores in New York. The store was always bright and noisy, the sound of shoes striking the floor. The cash registers are ringing over and over, voices rising and falling, calling out, laughing, arguing, all blending together like ocean waves. Clara's work repeated like a refrain, measuring customers' hands, bringing out gloves, wrapping them, tying the string. Some men bought for themselves, some women bought for their husbands, their sons, or their brothers. Each day was the same as the one before. When the floor manager walked past, Clara grew solemn, her face cool. When he went away, her lips curved just slightly, a small, fleeting smile. Everyone said she was a good worker, but Clara was not only diligent, she was perceptive. She watched the customers. She knew some were approachable, some demanding, some rude, some humorous. She learned to answer politely while keeping her distance, and most importantly, she learned to protect her own heart. Even so, sometimes Clara felt weary. In her mind, the same thoughts repeated, "I don't understand. Why every day is exactly the same. I feel anxious, because if it goes on like this, where will my life end up? I wish for something different, another door to open for me." That afternoon, while Clara was arranging pairs of gloves, a young man entered with his mother. His name was Nathaniel Brooks. He was a painter, a traveler, and also a wealthy man. His clothes were elegant and clean, his steps were light, but in his eyes lingered a trace of weariness, as if he had roamed far and wide. His mother adored small statues and lingered at the sculpture counter. Nathaniel needed gloves, and so he came to Clara's counter. His eyes met hers. In that instant, all the noise disappeared. The light seemed to vanish. Nathaniel saw only Clara's face. His heart beat faster. A warm rush spread through his chest. He was startled. He had met many women, but never had he felt this way before. An awkward freshness, almost childlike. "Good afternoon, sir," Clara said softly. "What size do you need?" She measured his hand with a tape. Her fingers were skillful, quick. She handed him a pair of gloves. They fit perfectly. Nathaniel wanted to say more, but the words caught in his throat. He only managed, "I'll take this pair." Clara wrapped the gloves in paper, tied the string, and handed him the package along with the bill. He did not leave right away. He stood there, hesitating. Many men had done the same. Clara understood. Her smile brightened just a little, but her eyes stayed cautious. Nathaniel thought quickly. He wanted to see her again. He pulled a white card from his pocket and set it on the counter. His name and Fifth Avenue address were printed clearly on it. "Forgive me if I am too forward," he said, "but I would like to see you again. Would that be possible?" Clara looked into his eyes. In them, she saw respect and also hope. She hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "I don't usually meet strangers. It's not proper, but when would you like to meet?" "As soon as possible. May I come to your home?" Clara laughed. "Oh no, my house is far too small. 5 people crowded into 3 rooms. If my mother saw me bring a gentleman home, she would be furious. But Thursday, 7:30, at the corner of 8th Avenue and 48th Street. I must be home before 11. "I will be there," Nathaniel answered, his voice joyful. That evening, Rose Miller, Clara's best friend, came to the counter. Rose had sharp eyes and a quick smile. "Clara, you just made that fellow fall head over heels, didn't you?" Clara slipped the card into her blouse, her voice calm but proud. "He asked to meet me again. Rose burst out laughing. I suppose he promised to take you to the Waldorf and let you ride in his car, didn't he? Clara rolled her eyes. Stop it. But it was Fifth Avenue. If he invites me to dinner, I'm sure the waiter won't be wearing his hair in a braid. Nathaniel left the store with his mother. The city flashed by outside the carriage window. He bit his lip, wondering. Love so new, so powerful, and so frightening. He did not know if what he had just done was foolish or wise. But of one thing he was certain: he wanted to see Clara again. The day of their meeting came. The evening air was mild. The streetlights glowed one by one. People hurried past. At exactly 7:30. Nathaniel stood waiting at the corner. Clara arrived on time. Her steps were quick, her eyes were bright. A simple dress, a small hat. She looked fresh, pure. Good evening, Nathaniel said. Good evening, Clara replied. Where shall we go? Let's take a walk. They strolled into the nearby park. The trees were silent. A few yellow lamps cast their glow. The sky was deep blue. They sat on a stone bench beneath a tree. They chatted about little things: the weather, the store, the city's clamor, a few flowers in the park. Nathaniel asked about her family. Clara told him about her mother, her siblings, the small apartment, the busy mornings, the crowded nights. She smiled, a weary but gentle smile. Nathaniel listened, absorbed. He loved her voice. He loved her honesty. He loved the quiet strength within her. In the dim light, he looked at her face and felt his heart overflow. He gently slipped his arm around her shoulders. Clara did not draw back. She rested her head against his shoulder, smiling softly. What took you so long to think of that? Nathaniel smiled. He felt brave. Clara, he whispered, I love you. She went still. The word love, warm and immense, touched her heart. For a moment, the door she had always kept closed seemed to open. In the days following their first meeting, Clara still stood behind the glove counter. The routine was the same, yet her mind was no longer as calm as before. She remembered Nathaniel's eyes, the gentle embrace, the words he whispered, I love you. Those 3 words kept returning, leaving her both flustered and warmed. One evening, Nathaniel asked to meet her at the old street corner. A light breeze drifted through the air, cool and gentle. They walked slowly, the sound of their shoes echoing on the pavement. After a long while, Nathaniel finally spoke. Clara, I want to share my dream with you. If you agree, I'll take you away from this city. We'll live simply but with true meaning. Clara tilted her head, her gaze hesitant. What dream is that? He smiled softly, his eyes lighting up. There is a city across the ocean. Its streets are waterways. People travel by boat, called gondolas. I want to take you there. We will drift beneath ancient bridges, listening to songs in the night. The sea will touch the city like a friend. Clara repeated the word, her voice soft, almost like a song gondola. For a moment, her eyes sparkled. Nathaniel continued, his voice painting images. After that, we'll go farther still, ride elephants in India, marvel at golden temples, stroll through Japanese gardens, watch Persian camels crossing the desert. You will learn and discover with me. The world will be our classroom. Clara remained silent. The beautiful visions came rushing in, yet they weighed heavily. She thought of her mother waiting by the window. She thought of the cramped apartment, the rent, the bitter jokes of the girls in the store. She thought of herself as just a simple glove seller. She rose abruptly. We should go home, she said, her voice suddenly cold. It's late." Nathaniel did not argue. He looked at her face and saw the confusion hiding behind the shell of firmness. He nodded gently. "Thank you for listening to my dream." Clara turned away, answering softly, "It's a beautiful dream." The next morning, the store was noisy again. Clara worked as always, but her mind lingered on images of bridges, gardens, and camel caravans. The vision was dazzling, yet it made her feel small. Rose Miller approached with a sly look. "Well, Clara, has your Fifth Avenue gentleman proposed yet? Or did he only promise you dinner at the Waldorf?" Clara laughed, but the sound was dry. "He proposed." She lifted her chin. "And guess what? He said he'd take me to Coney Island for the honeymoon. Doesn't that sound cheap?" Rose's mouth fell open, then she burst into laughter. Coney Island. "Oh my, that's pitiful. A rich man, and that's all he can think of." The two laughed loudly together. The laughter rang bright, but it carried a bitter edge. When Rose left, Clara's smile faded. A question flickered and vanished. Did he really say Coney Island? Or did I turn gondolas into something cheap, simply because I couldn't dare believe in that bigger dream? Across the city. Nathaniel sat before a blank canvas. The paintbrush lay still. He remembered the park bench, remembered the blue eyes that almost opened like a doorway. He understood love is not only shattered by crashing waves, but also by small stones along the path. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a simple ring. Not lavish, not ostentatious, only honest. He closed the box and sighed. Late in the afternoon. Clara left the store, reaching the street corner where she once met Nathaniel. She stopped. The corner was the same. The lights were the same. The city still roared. She glanced down the street for a moment, then turned away. Her steps quickened, her face calm. In her mind still echoed Rose's voice. Coney Island, truly cheap. Clara smiled faintly, but the smile quickly faded. She lifted her eyes to the pale sky and whispered, "Gondola." The word was soft, like a sigh. Then she shook her head and walked on. Between them, a wall slowly rose, a wall built of fear, of pride, of cramped rooms, of mocking laughter. The wall looked small, but it was solid beyond measure. That night, Clara lay on the small bed in the stifling room. The steady breathing of her younger siblings filled the space beside her. Her mother was already asleep, but Clara kept her eyes open, staring at the dark ceiling. In her mind, two voices wrestled. One whispered, "Trust him. He promised you a dream. He offered you his whole heart." The other sneered, "All men are the same. The more beautiful the dream, the easier it is to shatter." Clara turned onto her side, hugging the pillow. Silent tears slipped down her cheeks. She wished life could be simpler, that a heart's trembling would be enough. But reality never allowed it. Nathaniel was awake too. In his vast room, the golden lamplight fell across a blank canvas. He hadn't drawn a single line. Yet in his heart, Clara's image was etched more vividly than any painting. He thought of her eyes when she uttered the word gondola, glowing like lanterns. He thought too of her awkward smile as she walked away. He understood her fear. He knew she carried within her the heavy walls of poverty, pride, and endless whispers of gossip. He opened a small box, gazing at the simple ring inside. He didn't want to give up, but he also knew love could never be forced. The next day, Clara stood again at the glove counter. Rose stopped by, her eyes mischievous. "Clara, what's wrong with you? You look so down. Don't tell me you're really thinking about that Coney Island thing." Clara laughed, but the sound was light, lifeless. That was probably just a joke. Rose shrugged. Rich or poor, men are the same. Promises are easy. Keeping them, that's hard. The words pierced Clara's chest like a needle. She wrapped packages more quickly, the practiced store smile fixed on her lips, though inside she was tangled and restless. One evening, Clara left the store late. She walked to the familiar street corner. The yellow glow of the street lamp spilled across the rain-wet pavement. Her heart tightened when she saw Nathaniel waiting there, tall and slender, his eyes steady and patient. He stepped toward her. Clara. She stayed silent. "I don't blame you," he said. "I understand you're afraid, but when I looked into your eyes, I knew if only for a moment you believed, you dreamed with me." Tears welled up. "Nathaniel, you don't understand. I'm not the girl in your paintings. I'm real with a cramped room, with bills to pay, with a strict mother. Your dream, it's too big for me." He shook his head. "Dreams are never too big. Clara, not if we carry them together." A cold wind blew past. She turned her face away, tears streaking her cheeks. For a moment, she wanted to nod, to fall into his arms, but the invisible wall rose again. "I have to go home," she whispered. Nathaniel did not stop her. He only nodded. "I'll wait, no matter how long." She turned, walking quickly. He watched until her figure disappeared at the corner. That night, both of them dreamed. Clara dreamed of sitting in a gondola, lights reflecting on the water. Nathaniel beside her, his warm hand clasping hers. But when she woke, there was only the low ceiling, the damp smell, and the distant clatter of carriage wheels outside. Nathaniel dreamed of those shining blue eyes, sparkling like windows to another world. But when he reached out, he touched nothing but emptiness. Life returned to its daily rhythm. Clara sold gloves, Nathaniel painted. The city roared on, but deep inside, both carried something indelible the moment they had believed in a shared dream. The message was clear. When love arrives, it demands more than a trembling heart. It requires trust. It requires courage to step beyond the walls of fear, of routine, of gossip. Clara had not yet found that courage. Nathaniel had patience, but his patience alone was not enough. And so their love stopped at the street corner, left unfinished, trapped in a dream. Yet the story did not end in despair. It left behind a reminder for anyone standing at the crossroads of the heart. When you want to hold something precious, believe. When you want to step into a new world, act. Don't let invisible walls steal your only chance. The sky grew brighter. The city awoke. People bought gloves. The painter picked up his brush again. And somewhere, on distant waters, a gondola drifted quietly, carrying a song that had never been sung,